Maybe you've arrived here carrying the weight of 1,000 memories that ache deep in your chest. Perhaps you're feeling like you've tried everything. You've prayed in every way possible, searched for answers in distant places, but inner peace still feels like an impossible dream to reach. If that's you, take a deep breath right now and know this isn't a coincidence. This prayer might be exactly what your soul has been searching for all this time. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and feel what's happening inside your heart at this exact instant. Feel the wounds that still throb, the hurts that seem like they'll never heal, the resentments you carry like heavy stones in life's backpack. Feel also the exhaustion from trying so hard, fighting so much, seeking so much, and still finding yourself here, looking for one last hope. Today I want to introduce you to a prayer that comes from ancient wisdom, a Hawaiian tradition called Ho'oponopono, brought to the modern world by an extraordinary woman named Morrnah Simeona. This isn't just another spiritual technique. This is a path to freedom so profound it can transform not only how you feel, but who you are. Ho'oponopono literally means to make right, or to correct an error. It's an ancestral practice of forgiveness, reconciliation, and healing that recognizes a fundamental truth. All the problems we face in our external life have their origin in memories and patterns stored in our subconscious, and the only person who can clear these memories is yourself. When Morrnah Simeona brought this wisdom to the world, she understood something revolutionary. We don't need to wait for others to change. We don't need circumstances to align perfectly. We don't need the world to be different for us to find peace. Healing begins within us, with our willingness to take responsibility for everything we experience and to clear the memories that create repetitive patterns in our life. This prayer you're about to learn contains 4 simple but profoundly powerful phrases. 4 keys that can open the doors of emotional prisons where you might have been for years, maybe even decades. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And thank you. Each of these phrases carries specific medicine for your soul. The first phrase, I'm sorry, isn't an admission of guilt in the conventional sense. It's recognition that somehow you attracted this experience into your life. It's taking responsibility without blaming yourself, accepting that you have the power to change what you're living because you're part of it. When you say, I'm sorry, you're telling the universe, I recognize I can do things differently. The second phrase, please forgive me, is directed both to yourself and to divinity, to life, to existence itself. It's a humble request for painful memories to be cleared, for destructive patterns to be released. When you ask for forgiveness, you're not diminishing yourself. You're freeing yourself from weight you carry unnecessarily. The third phrase, I love you, is perhaps the most transformative of all. It recognizes that everything that exists, including difficult situations, people who hurt us, and even our own failures, is part of one source of love. When you can say, I love you to what causes you pain, you're transmuting that pain into understanding. And the fourth phrase, thank you, is the final key that seals the healing. It's recognition that everything we live through, including difficult moments, are opportunities for growth and liberation. When you can feel genuine gratitude even in the middle of pain, you're aligning yourself with life's greater wisdom. If you're feeling something moving inside your chest while listening to these words, if something in you is recognizing the truth of what I'm sharing, I'd really love for you to leave a comment below. Tell me which of these 4 phrases touched deepest in your heart. Your story might be exactly what another person needs to hear today to find courage to begin their own healing journey. And if you feel this message needs to reach more people, how about sharing this video with someone you love? Sometimes we're instruments of healing for each other without even realizing it. But before we dive into practicing this sacred prayer, it's important you understand what really happens when we speak these words. It's not just a ritual, not just mechanical repetition of beautiful phrases. It's a process of deep cleansing that happens in invisible layers of your existence. Imagine your mind is like a house that's been inhabited by many generations. Each generation left its marks, its furniture, its memories on the walls. Some of these memories are beautiful and nourishing, but others are heavy, painful, limiting. Ho'oponopono is like a deep spiritual cleaning of this inner house, where you're releasing everything that no longer serves your well-being. When you say, I'm sorry, you're acknowledging that some of these old memories are creating repetitive patterns in your current life. Maybe you find yourself always attracting the same type of problematic relationship, or facing the same fears, or reacting destructively in certain situations. This recognition is the first step toward liberation. When you ask, "Please forgive me," you're requesting that the universe, life, your own higher soul, clean and transmute these memories. You're not asking forgiveness for being a bad person, but for carrying these patterns for so long without realizing you had the power to release them. When you affirm, "I love you," you're sending the most powerful healing energy that exists to these memories, situations, and people involved. Love has the ability to transmute any lower energy, dissolve any resistance, heal any wound. Even if your mind doesn't fully understand yet, your heart knows that love is always the answer. And when you express thank you, you're sealing the healing process with the highest vibration a human being can emit. Gratitude. You're telling the universe you trust the process, accept the healing, recognize divine perfection, even in life's imperfect situations. Now I want you to prepare to receive the complete prayer that Morrnah Simeona left us as a sacred gift for humanity. This isn't just a sequence of words. It's a portal to inner freedom, a master key that can open all the doors you believed were locked forever. Find a place where you can be at peace for a few minutes. It could be in your bedroom, living room, even the bathroom if that's the only private place you have right now. What matters isn't the physical location, but the sacred space you create within your heart when you decide to connect with your deepest truth. Take 3 deep breaths. On the first breath, release all tension from your body. On the second, let go of all worries from your mind. On the third, open your heart to receive the healing that's coming to you in this moment. Feel as if you're preparing for a sacred encounter, because that's exactly what's happening. The prayer you're about to hear begins by recognizing the interconnection of all things. Divine Creator, Father, Mother, Child, all in one. This isn't just a beautiful phrase. It's recognition that there's only one source of life, one consciousness manifesting through all forms. You're not separate from this source. You're a unique and precious expression of it. When the prayer continues with, "If I, my family, my relatives and ancestors have offended your family, relatives and ancestors in thoughts, deeds or actions, from the beginning of our creation until the present, we ask your forgiveness." It's recognizing that we're part of a lineage, a network of connections extending through time. The pain we feel today might have roots in very ancient memories, and the healing we do today benefits not only us, but all generations that came before and will come after. The next part of the prayer is where the real miracle happens. Let this be cleansed, purified, released, and cut away from all memories, blocks, negative energies and vibrations. Transmute these unwanted energies into pure light. At this moment, you're requesting that the universe do for you what you can't do alone, the complete transformation of what causes suffering in your life. It's at this point in our journey together that I feel my heart expanding because I know you didn't get here by accident. Maybe you're going through a difficult time in your marriage, perhaps facing challenges with your children, or carrying hurts from past relationships that still ache like open wounds. Maybe you're fighting against patterns of self-sabotage, against fears that seem bigger than your courage, or against a constant feeling that something's missing from your life. When we recite "to cleanse my subconscious of all emotional charge stored in it," I say over and over during my day the key words of Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. We're making a conscious choice to become gardeners of our own soul. We're deciding to pull the weeds of negative thoughts and plant seeds of love, forgiveness, and gratitude. The next part of the prayer invites us to profound surrender. I declare myself at peace with all people on earth and with those to whom I have pending debts. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you could truly feel peace with everyone. Not fake peace, not bitter resignation, but true peace born from understanding that each person is doing the best they can with the level of consciousness they possess in this moment. And then comes perhaps the most challenging and simultaneously most liberating part. I release all those from whom I believe I'm receiving harm and mistreatment because they're simply returning to me what I did to them before in some past life. You don't need to believe in past lives for this affirmation to have healing power. What matters is the willingness to take total responsibility for your experience, to stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as the conscious creator of your reality. You know, as I share these words with you, my heart is filled with immense tenderness because I know that on the other side of this screen exists a real person with real pain, real dreams, a unique and precious story. And I wish so much that you knew how much your journey matters, how much your healing matters, not just for you but for all of us. When you heal, when you free yourself from patterns that cause suffering, you're contributing to humanity's collective healing. Please, if these words are touching your heart, if you're feeling something moving inside you, share with me in the comments what has been your greatest inner struggle. What kind of memories or patterns would you like to clear through this prayer? And if you have any specific prayer requests, if there's a situation in your life that urgently needs healing, write it down below. Let's create together a chain of love and healing, where each shared story becomes a light for someone still walking in darkness. Now I want you to understand something that can completely change your experience with this prayer. When we say the 4 sacred phrases, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, we're not just speaking words into the air. We're activating specific vibrational frequencies that have the power to dissolve layers of pain accumulated for years, maybe decades. When you say I'm sorry, you're aligning with the frequency of conscious responsibility. It's not an apology loaded with guilt or shame, but a mature recognition that you have participation in everything you experience. It's as if you're telling the universe, I understand that somehow I attracted this situation to learn something important. I take my responsibility without judging myself. When you pronounce, please forgive me, you're activating the frequency of purification. You're asking that the memories that created painful patterns be cleansed not only from your conscious mind, but from the deepest layers of your being. It's a humble request for divine grace to do for you what you cannot do alone. The phrase I love you is perhaps the most powerful of all, because love is the most transformative force that exists in the universe. When you can say I love you to the situation causing you pain, to the person who hurt you, to the part of yourself you reject, something miraculous happens. You're transmuting the energy of separation into the energy of union, the energy of fear into the energy of love. And when you express thank you, you're aligning with the highest frequency a human being can emit. Gratitude is like a magnet that attracts more reasons to be grateful. Even if your mind still doesn't understand why you should be grateful for pain, your heart knows that every experience, however difficult, carries within it the seed of precious wisdom. The secret to this prayer having maximum power in your life is conscious repetition. Morrnah Simeona taught that we should repeat these phrases over and over during the day, not like a parrot repeating without feeling, but like a gardener who waters plants every day, knowing that each drop of water contributes to flowering. There's something deeply sacred in the act of asking for forgiveness, and I want you to understand its spiritual dimension. When you ask for forgiveness through this prayer, you're not diminishing yourself, not humiliating yourself. You're aligning with one of the universe's most powerful forces, the ability to transform what seems impossible to transform. Many people resist Ho'oponopono because they believe asking for forgiveness means admitting guilt, especially when they feel they were victims of injustice. But this practice goes far beyond guilt and innocence. It invites us to transcend victim and perpetrator mentality and rise to a level of consciousness where we recognize we're co-creators of our reality. When you say I'm sorry to an abusive situation you suffered, you're not blaming yourself for the abuse. You're recognizing that somehow, mysteriously, your soul chose to go through this experience as part of a greater journey of learning and growth. You're taking the power to transform pain into wisdom, trauma into strength. The prayer reminds us that even though it may be difficult for me to forgive someone, I am the one asking forgiveness from that someone now. This is one of Ho'oponopono's most revolutionary understandings. We don't wait for the other to change. Don't wait for the other to ask our forgiveness first. We take the initiative to clean our part in the situation, and by doing so, we free both ourselves and the other. There's deep wisdom in this because when you stop waiting for others to change for you to feel better, you reclaim your power. You're no longer hostage to anyone's behavior. Your inner peace no longer depends on other people's choices. You become master of your own emotional experience. This is a path of courage, not weakness. It takes immense courage to look at your deepest wounds and say, I choose to heal myself. I choose to free myself. I choose to love even when it hurts. It's the courage of someone who understood that healing is always possible, that love always wins, that light always dispels darkness. As we approach the end of this sacred journey, I want you to feel in your heart the depth of transformation that's already happening within you. Even if your mind still has doubts, even if part of you still resists, something in your deepest being recognizes the truth of these words and is already beginning to heal. Ho'oponopono practice isn't about perfection, it's about progression. Don't worry if at first you can't feel genuine love for those who hurt you. Don't judge yourself if you still feel anger or hurt. These feelings are natural and part of the human process. What's important is your willingness to start where you are and take one step at a time toward healing. Start applying this prayer to smaller situations in your daily life. When someone irritates you in traffic, instead of cursing, breathe and say mentally, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you." When you criticize yourself for some mistake, instead of punishing yourself, put your hand on your heart and repeat these words with tenderness. When your worries start consuming you, use this prayer as balm for your anxiety. Over time, you'll begin to notice subtle but profound changes. Maybe you'll notice you're no longer reacting the same way to provocations. Perhaps you'll observe you're feeling more at peace with yourself. Maybe you'll notice that difficult relationships are softening without you having done anything, besides cleaning your own memories. Always remember that when you heal yourself, you're also healing your family, your lineage, your future generations. Healing is never a solitary act. It's always a gift to the world. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of revenge, love instead of fear, gratitude instead of bitterness, you're raising the vibration of the entire planet. Morrnah Simeona's prayer ends by reminding us that even when it's difficult to forgive, we can still choose to ask for forgiveness. This is Ho'oponopono's spiritual alchemy, transforming the lead of resentment into the gold of unconditional love. We've reached the end of this journey, but actually this is just the beginning. The true Ho'oponopono journey begins when you leave this moment of prayer and take these 4 sacred phrases into your daily life. They become your faithful companions in challenging moments, your lighthouses when everything seems dark. I want you to understand that this might really be the last prayer you need to make, not because you'll never pray again, but because you'll discover that within these 4 simple phrases is contained all the spiritual wisdom you need to navigate any life situation. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. These words carry the power to heal destroyed relationships, dissolve ancient traumas, transform limiting patterns. In the coming days, whenever you remember, repeat these phrases. Say them when you wake up, say them before sleep, say them when you're walking, when you're cooking, when you're caring for your children. Let them become your heart's constant mantra, your soul's background music. And when you notice changes happening in your life, and they will happen, remember this is Ho'oponopono's power in action. It's not magic, it's the practical application of unconditional love. It's the conscious decision to take responsibility for your experience and always choose the highest possible response. Morrnah Simeona left us an invaluable gift when she brought this practice to the modern world. She understood that humanity needed a simple but powerful tool to heal from the deep wounds we carry. And now, this tool is in your hands. Before we close, I want you to shut your eyes one last time and feel the gratitude in your heart. Gratitude for making it this far. Gratitude for your courage to open yourself to healing. Gratitude for being part of this infinite chain of love that connects all beings. You are loved, you are important, you have a sacred purpose in this life. And this prayer will always be your faithful ally in fulfilling this purpose. May God's peace, the wisdom of Hawaiian ancestors, Morrnah Simeona's love be with you today and always. May this prayer truly be the last one you need, because it contains within itself all others. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, Ho'oponopono.